Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. This is another week of Zen Chin Yoga cooking. This week we're actually going to be baking something, and we will be baking with our ingredient of the week, which is the pear. So this week we are going to be making pear muffins. I've not made this recipe yet, but I'm very intrigued and they sound amazing. And right now pears are so very much in season and they're so good, so sweet. I am constantly craving them, so I thought, why not? Let's try this recipe out. I do want to share with you all a very special story associated with the pear, and it's my own personal story. So every time I eat pears, I always think about my papa. When I was little, I grew up with a pear tree in the backyard, so lucky me, huh? Those pears tasted amazing. They were hands down the best pears I've ever tasted in my life, so far anyway. Every day I would come home, my grandpa would be sitting on the back porch, swinging on our porch swing, and he would have a pear from our pear tree. And he'd be sitting there slicing off pieces of the pear using his pocket knife. And I would just come out there and I would just sit with him, and without saying anything, he would slice off a piece for me and then slice off a piece for him, and we would just go back and forth eating our pear in silence. We really didn't say much, which is unusual for me, but it's a very special memory for me. And every time I eat a pear, I not only think about my papa, but I have this urge to slice off pieces of my pear using a pocket knife. Probably why I carry a pocket knife in my lunchbox all the time, just in case I come across a pear. So that's my special story. And Papa, this recipe is for you. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your oven is preheating at 350 degrees, and then go ahead and line your muffin tin. I went ahead and, oh, they're all flying away. It's always something, you guys. I actually just use these biodegradable muffin cups. You can use a silicone one, or if you are using oil, you can actually just wipe a little bit of oil in each of the cups, and that way it won't stick either. That's if you don't have a non-stick pan, so you can use, those are the other options. It's suggested to add a little bit of water to the empty cups. I've never done that before, but I think I'm gonna try it this time just to see what happens. Okay, so oven is preheating and muffin tin is lined. The first thing we need to do is, I need to tell you guys what ingredients you will need, so check out the next slide. Okay, so once you gather all of your ingredients, the first thing we need to do is to mix all of the dry ingredients together. We need to mix the flours, the baking powder, the ginger, the cinnamon, the salt. We need to mix all of them together. One thing I did want to note is for the whole wheat flour, I actually used whole wheat pastry flour because I found that if you use the actual whole wheat flour, it's not ground as finely as the pastry flour, and so if you bake with it, a lot of your items come out rock hard, and nobody wants rock hard muffins. So I am substituting the pastry flour, and I went ahead and mixed everything up in my bowl, and we literally just need to whisk it all up. So I'm gonna whisk all of our ingredients until they are finely mixed. Perfect, looks good. And then in a smaller bowl, this is important, so use a bigger bowl for your dry ingredients and then a smaller bowl for all the wet ingredients. And so for the wet ingredients, you'll want to mix in the applesauce or the banana, a mashed banana if you're using that, which is what I'm using. And then you need to mix in your milk. It's important that it's at room temperature. Anytime a recipe specifically notes that, make sure you do it. So make sure you add in, so the warm, or I guess room temperature almond milk, and then your vanilla extract. And then if you're using coconut oil, go ahead and mix that in there as well. You'll want to melt it before you add it into your mix. I am actually trying something instead of using the oil. So again, I don't cook with oil, so I don't really have oil in my house, if ever. The closest thing I would ever have in my house that has oil in it would be the plant-based butter, if I use that. But I don't have coconut oil in my cupboard, and I'm not gonna go buy it just for this recipe. So I am gonna try using coconut yogurt instead. So I've baked with yogurt before, and the result always comes out really soft. And you want to make sure that you keep using that fat. There's a reason for that fat being in the recipe. So instead of using coconut oil, I'm just going to stick with the coconut fat and use a coconut yogurt instead. So it should be fine, but we will see how this works out. So you want to go ahead and have all of your wet ingredients in a smaller bowl. So I have just not that small, but give yourself enough room to mix it all in there. The recipe does suggest because we're doing cinnamon pear muffins, and so if you use your applesauce, you could use the cinnamon flavored applesauce. And I almost did that, but we don't eat a lot of applesauce here, and I didn't want cinnamon applesauce. I mean, I guess it could have led to me experimenting with more baking and stuff. Maybe I'll consider that next time, but I love to cook. I think I spend most of my money on food, but I want to be frugal about it. So if I try to use what ingredients I have, and that includes a lot of substituting. So, okay. Got all of our wet ingredients mixed really well, and then our dry ingredients are mixed really well. And so I am gonna rinse this spoon off real quick because we need to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. One thing I do want to note is that don't over stir it. So remember that, don't over stir if you're doing plant-based baking. That's one tip that really stuck with me, was to just stir the batter until it's just mixed, because if you over stir it, it's gonna get hard as well. So another reason why you don't want to use that whole wheat flour, because you will have rock hard muffins after this. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix everything in, and then I will show you what the batter is supposed to look like. Okay, so here is our batter, and you can see it's not super runny. You're gonna have a thick batter. And let me tell you guys, this smells so good. I did sneak a little tiny bit of taste. It got on my finger. What was I supposed to do? So I tasted it, and it tastes amazing. So the final step is folding in our pears. So I cut my pieces a little bit smaller. I don't know. I just didn't want really chunky pears in my muffins. So I know this is a really sloppy job of folding in folding in the pears, but hey, you do you. Especially if you're a baker. I'm sorry, this might be hurting your eyes. I'm really sorry about that. But I always end up with a really good end result anyway. So we'll just fold this in. And again, be careful over stirring. We don't want, it looks like all the ingredients are well mixed. And so now the last and final step, I always get mesmerized when I'm mixing foods. Okay, so the last step we need to do is to put it all in here. And then here's these two empty containers here, and it's suggested to put 1 to 2 tablespoons of water in each one, I guess, to bake the muffins evenly. I have never done it before. I've heard mixed things about it, but I'm gonna try it out. So let's go ahead and fill our muffin cups, and then we can toss it in the oven. Okay guys, I went ahead and filled my muffin tin. Depending on the size of your muffin, I guess, containers, I don't know, tray, whatever this is called, that will determine how many muffins you'll be able to make. So I ended up I had enough batter to make 9 muffins. I would start maybe lining with 8, maybe even 10. You can make up to 10. It just really depends. So I would line at least 8, I would say 8 cups. And then if you have extra batter, you can make more muffins, which is awesome. And then I want to show you, well, it's hard to show you without spilling it, but I put the water, we're gonna try it out, put the water on the end there. The batter tastes amazing. Again, oopsie, I got some on my fingers. I tasted it. So good. It smells so good. I'm really, really excited to try this. So let's go ahead and put it in the oven. And then it bakes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. So I will probably set my timer for 15. I'm gonna check on it and then just kind of watch it for the last 5 minutes to see if it needs to cook. So again, you want the top slightly tan, brown, and soft in the middle. So pop a toothpick in there, make sure it comes out clean, and then just keep an eye on it, because a lot of times when you make muffins like this using especially ingredients with fruit, it tends to burn easily on the top. So maybe the water will help with that. I don't know, but set it for 15 minutes, check on it, and then just hang out with it and keep an eye on it for the last 5 minutes. So 15 to 20 minutes at 350 degrees. Okay guys, the muffins are done. I had to cook mine a little bit longer. I think probably because I used a little more liquid with the yogurt and whatnot. But I ended up cooking mine till about maybe 25 minutes roughly. But they definitely, at least for me, I let them sit a little bit longer to continue cooking in their pan. But you can see, let me see if I can get a good one out. They have a nice golden, kind of see it, golden color on the top. So definitely keep an eye on that. And they smell amazing. I'm really excited to try it, which I'm gonna do right now. So I cut one up, and this is the piece with the pear in it. So here we go. These are so good. I'm gonna eat the bejesus out of them. The pear, at least mine, taste a little, they're not like super soft. So maybe, I don't know if maybe cooking, like warming the pear up before baking it, I'm not sure if that would be a good idea or not, because you know, baking is really weird. Cooking, there's a lot more flexibility. It's kind of like an art. But baking is very precise. There's a lot of science behind baking, so you don't want to experiment too much. I would probably make sure that I have a really well ripened pear. Mine was almost ripe. It was still a little hard, but I think if I would have let it sit for maybe a day or so, it would have been a lot softer. So I would make sure that I have a ripe pear. And then something else I might try is, you know, could cut up the pieces a little bit smaller. When people don't like pieces of fruit in their pear, or if people don't like pieces of fruit in their muffins, but still really like the flavor of the pear, something I would maybe try is to puree it a little bit. But again, watch that. If you do try it with the pureeing of the pear, it does create a little bit more liquid, so you might have to adjust your other liquid ingredients. But yeah, it's really good. I'm really excited. I want to eat more of these. I'm probably going to eat a couple more. Papa, I really wish you were here to try this. I might have to either, you know, deliver some to Florida, or heck, you're not that far away. I'll just come down there, we can bake them together. So But that's it, you guys. It really doesn't take long. A lot of these ingredients you may have in your cupboard already. I just had to go get a couple of pears and the yogurt. So with the yogurt and the pears, it still costs less than $5. Yeah, these are great. They'd be great for breakfast, snack, even dessert. Why not? Whenever. Eat it whenever. They're so good. So, okay, well that's it. That is it for our recipe for this week. Thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen again. If you want to see other videos like this, make sure you check out Zenchin Yoga's YouTube channel. And you can find a collection of the videos there as well. Please like and subscribe to this channel and so like this video. And if you subscribe to the channel, you will be one of the first people you'll get the notifications when the new videos pop up. Another thing you can do is, if you are not already signed up for it, please sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up for that at zenchinyoga.com. That will send the new videos directly to your inbox. We have the yoga videos, the cooking videos, and of course the chinchilla of the week. And so people who receive the newsletter get first dibs on all the new Zenchin Yoga goodies before they are posted to the website. So that is a really fun thing. And I promise that the newsletter only goes out once a week. And they're really short and sweet, and it's a lot of fun. So check that out, get signed up for that. And if you make this recipe, please let me know. I would love to hear how your muffins turned out, if you tried anything different, how they tasted, if you used the oil, or if you tried something different than the oil than what I did, or with the applesauce instead of the banana. Yeah, just keep me in the loop. I really love to hear about it. I will put in the video notes below the ingredients and the website from where I found this recipe. So if you just want to go directly there as well, you can. But that is it. Thank you again so much. I appreciate all the support and you guys coming to hang out with me. Yeah, I'm so distracted with this with these pears. So I'm going to eat more of these muffins and be happy campers. So you guys, thank you again. Have a great night, and I will see you again very, very soon.